Tom Bird got a brand new 22 meter Hadron 3. He said he'd let me fly it. I've flown Clint's 22 meter APCO F1. So it'll be a good comparison for me to compare those two wings. Although not the ideal size for me, it'll tell me some stuff about the wing, and I'll let you guys know what I think about it. So enjoy the footage. Peace. We've got the Dudek Hadron 3. Let's go look at the wing real quick. So, first impressions. This is a 22 meter. I should really be on like an 18, but that's okay. I've flown Clint's 22 meter F1, so I can compare it to that. Very thin leading edge still. Very efficient. The cell openings are wider than the XX. One benefit, this Hadron has these in between each cell, it has another plastic rod. That keeps this from fluttering some at fast speeds, and it makes it more efficient as well. The downside is it could make it a little heavier, but this wing does feel lighter than the Hadron XX did. I'd have to look at the data to see if that's true. I wish the Drift Air had these to make it a little bit more efficient. I'm willing to bet that the next Snake will have these plastic rods in between each cell as well. A little bit more efficient, a little bit more stable at high speeds with those rods. What else? It still has the rods all the way down the wing, not stepping on lines here. So right here where I'm grabbing with my hand, there's a plastic rod in the wing all the way back through the wing. Makes it very stable at high speeds. Very nice reflex profile. So this is my first flight on the Dudek Hadron 3. I'm super excited to test it out because the Hadron XX was like my first hot wing. So let's get clipped in and send it. We got like nil wind today, but blowing this launch is not an option because this is Tom Bird's new wing, and he's literally flown it one time, and he's being gracious enough to let me fly it. See where the trims are set. On 3. I'm gonna rock that. Trims on 3. Speed bar hooked up. Of course, how can you test a wing without hooking up speed bar? I don't know. It's like test driving a car in only second gear. Well, oh man, okay. Initial impressions. So remember, I've flown Clint's 22 meter F1, which in my opinion would be the direct competitor to this wing. Let's try trims all the way in. And let's test the flare authority. Oh man, now 100%. I've been on this wing 30 seconds. I know why people love it. Let's test the flare. Okay. So, if you're used to like a warp with the trims all the way in, there's not much flare. Not much flare at all. With this, okay, that was, look, this is trims in, I'm just gonna be like foot drag height. Okay. Trim's in. Let's get it stable. Foot drag height and flare. And I can climb 20 feet. So lots of flare authority, even with trims all the way in. I actually like it. I like the feel of it with the trims in. I think it's just right. Same with the drift air. Versus on the warp, you needed to let the trims out a little bit. On this wing and drift air, you don't. Yeah, trims in is good. Okay, so a few people in their reviews have mentioned that the Hadron 3 is more roll stable than the XX was. I would agree. Let me see. Let me get a little oscillation going here. Okay. Now hands up, I'm not doing any weight shift or anything. And it's kind of like the drift air, just slowly dampens until it's straight and level. All right, I'm going. This is trims all the way in. Trims all the way in. 29, 29, 29, 28, 27, 28, 29. This is on a 22 meter, and I'm about 103 kilograms all up right now. 27, 26, 27, 27. So I'm calling the speed of trims in 26 or 27. All right, time to dump the trims. Trims are dumped. The D lines are already slack. That's that Reflex. This is a 3-liner. A's, B's, and C's. No D risers. Alright, speed. 35. Alright, I think we're going to get to 45, which is amazing for a 22 meter. 35 miles an hour. Alright, U-turn. 36. 35. 34, 33, 32, 31, 32, 33, 34. There's a little bit of turbulence and the wing is going vertical. It's not pitching forward. Thumbs up. 33, 33, 34. All right, here we go, full speed. I can't even get there. 38, 40, 41, 42, 42, 41. U-turn. She's fast, dude. I'm blown away with how fast this is. On a 22 meter. All right, here we go. On the A risers, no flutter in the wing, no flutter at all. So rock solid. 41. He's got more. 40. 41. 42. Good, man. All right, I gotta give Tom his wing back. Dude, I dig it. So I'm gonna give my comparisons. I think it is more efficient than the F1. I didn't hardly ever have to use full throttle, even at full speed. It's going 40 miles an hour. I don't remember how fast Clint's wing is, but I think this wing is more efficient than the F1. I love it. I think the Hadron 3 is better than the Hadronxx because it's lighter weight and it's easier to launch for sure. So an improvement over the XX. I think the XX for raw performance is probably a hair better, but I think this one is just a better overall wing, in my opinion. Hopefully I'll get to test one in my size one day, and I'll let you guys know what I think about that. But for now, this will be a quick first impressions of the Dudek Hadron 3. Some things I'll add into the video while you're watching this B-cam footage that I thought about the wing. I feel like the F1 has a little bit more reflex in it, and that's actually visible too. I'll throw in some footage here in a minute of the Hadron 3 from the air, and I've seen the F1 while kiting on the ground. I think the F1 has more reflex in the profile compared to the Hadron 3, and that probably is the reason for the trade-in efficiency. Again, this is just me going based on feel of the two wings, and there's so many factors that play into efficiency, so take what I say for what it's worth. I think the handling on both wings is in the same class. They're both very agile wings. I will give an advantage to the F1 over the Hadron 3 because the F1 has the power attack. It's called something else where you can, I think they call it one action acceleration, where you push the speed bar and it also releases the trims. The Hadron 3 does not have that feature. You have to actuate the speed bar and the trim separately on the Hadron 3. I think either one's a great wing, and pick which one you like based on the features that it has. Okay. I've had a couple of questions on the Hadron 3 versus the Drift Air because they're both placed kind of in the same class, but they're for different purposes. So if you're the kind of guy that just likes to fly around and sightsee or fly to another LZ, you like cross country, etc., then I think the Hadron 3 is the better wing over the Drift Air. It's a little bit more efficient. The brake travel is shorter. I think the flare is a little bit better because the brake travel is shorter. It's got more plastic in the wing, so it's going to hold its shape better in turbulence. If you're the kind of guy that likes to do sats, if you use the speed bar aggressively and you like the power attack system, and you constantly just climb and then do wing overs on the way down, then I think that the Drift Air is the better wing. If you like to fly horizontal, go for the Hadron 3. If you like to fly vertical, then go for the Drift Air. And yeah, here's that footage of the Hadron 3 in flight from a third-person view. You can see a little bit of reflex in the profile. It's not excessive, something like the Paramania GTX where it's clearly visible, but it definitely has more reflex. You know, if you compare how this looks compared to like a free flight wing, it is a reflex wing. It's not crazy aggressive though, and I think their Dudek is spot on with finding that balance of enough reflex to prevent collapses, but not so much to zap the efficiency from the wing. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.